everyone, it's Eileen from No There's a Crafty Idea, and I'm back with Roxy's weekly challenge. Now, Rachel challenged everybody to make a cover out of packing material, and she did an absolutely gorgeous one using an Amazon packet, you know, the ones that fold like a book and then they've got a little flap that comes over. Absolutely great. I'll pop a link down below to the video because you should watch it, it's really good. Now, when it comes to packaging, I've just had a huge clear out just before Rachel announced, but I tell you what I do have. I've got this. Now let me just move all the bits from inside it. Got these bits of stuff everywhere. Now this, I cut it out of it was a large box, and it's corrugated cardboard, but it's corrugated on both sides, so it's quite sturdy and it's very flexible. So I thought, you know, I might use this and make a cover out of this because I kind of like the idea of the corrugated, the outside corrugated, but I want to play with it a bit anyway. So what I thought was, I can I've got a journal in mind for it, and it's got two signatures, so I want to give it a spine because this just isn't going to be, the signatures are going to crisscross and rub against each other if I don't give it a solid spine. So let's get on with that. So I've just picked up a spine. I know, you know, I probably should be making everything from scratch, but I've got a big pile of these that I've made up specifically for my journals. So, you know, why not use what's to hand? And again, this is packaging material because this is cereal box, and all I do is cut the cereal box to size and then laminate it by gluing two pieces together, and that gives you a pretty solid spine. So I need to measure things. Now let me find a signature because I want to make sure that I've got enough hanging over at the end, because I want there to be some give at the end, but I want the signatures to sit nicely. So I'm thinking about probably about there, and then that's gonna, yeah, I think that should that be enough? I think that'll be enough, absolutely. So I'm gonna just, let me get a pencil and mark this. So I want it there and there. Okay, so that's where we want it. And I think, I'm not sure which glue to use because I'm thinking Fabri-Tac might be the best because it's only going to stick to the ridges of the cardboard, and I want that to, yeah, so yeah, I think that'll probably be the best. So the first thing I'm going to do is stick this spine in, and then we'll get to decorating the inside. I'm just going to check, see if this is big enough. It's just slightly shy, but I can deal with that. Yeah, I can deal with that. The good thing about this corrugated stuff is it keeps you straight because it's straight lines. I already had this pre-cut like in strips. You can see how long this strip is. It's just I pre-cut it in strips so that I knew it would be about right. But basically all I did was I just peeled off the front, and it came off pretty easy. You can see one side came off a lot more easily than the other side, and then I obviously delaminated the other side as well. And it's like, I don't know if you can see that, it's like a double thickness, so it's corrugated on both sides, where normally it's only corrugated on one. So it is quite, it's sturdy without being too bulky. So let's get our Fabri-Tac, and I think it'd be best to put it onto the actual card, and then it's just going to hit where it hits. Oh, I've got goobers. There we go. And then hopefully the Fabri-Tac will hold it down. That's if it wants to come and play today. It's been particularly cold, so I don't think it wants to come out and play. And I'm gonna glue the whole thing. Now normally if you were sewing signatures in, you wouldn't want to, basically because you don't want to be sewing through glue. But I'm thinking that I'm going to put extra glue on this because of the nature of the materials that I'm using, and I want to make sure I get all the edging. I really need to like get one of those icing bottles so that I can put this in and have it easier to come out. There we go, that's better. It's sad that I'm losing strength in my hands because I use me, you know, when you're crafting, it's your most important tool, isn't it, your hands. Now I think what I'll do is I'm going to guesstimate where the sewing's going to go, and I'll just glue around that area. Actually that'll be right in the area, won't it? I'm thinking of a different way of sewing it in. Okay, well it doesn't matter because it'll all be dry by the time I come to sew it in, so that's fine. And this way we know that this is going to stay on solid. Okay, that's quite a lot of glue, so let's see if we can get this on. Where's my pencil marks? It's about there. And I'm not bothered that it's just ever so slightly short, because the material of this cardboard it's pretty solid that way. It's not going to bend that way. It's lovely to work with, it's so tactile. I can see me making a few more of these kinds of covers. I tell you why, I've got like, it was a big huge box and I've got quite a few of these strips out of it. It'll be good to get them out the craft room because then I'll have some more room. Oh dear me. It's awful when you've got so much stuff that you run out of room, but there's still stuff that you need. Okay, let's check that out. Where's my signature? Just make sure that that's... yeah, that's going to be great. It's going to give it a little bit of a hang, overhang, which is good. Now, what I was going to do, I probably should have cut it beforehand. What I was going to do, I was going to have it so that it folded over, but I've changed my mind on that. So I'll basically, if I do it this way, I can probably just count it. So there's 2 of these corrugated sections over. So if I do the same this side and have 2 corrugated sections, let's get my pencil first, measure twice, cut once, right. Yep, there's 2 corrugated sections. See, now that's, wait a minute. Okay, so maybe it might be a good idea to use the rule instead. So it's about 1.5, okay, 1.5 centimetres past the end of the signature. Okay, so it is going to be that one, but I'm going to have to keep it close to the wall of the corrugated bit, if you know what I mean. I know what I mean. Okay, I just don't want the bottom jutting out. Now this is the only problem with this, is that because it is so stiff this way, it's difficult to cut upwards. I'll probably just have to chop it and then tidy it up afterwards. There we go. Okay, let's tidy it up a bit. Sorry, I'm off camera. There we go. Now, that's about right. You know what I didn't do? I didn't start the timer. Okay. It's going to be one of those days, folks. Right, hold on a minute. Right, okay. And I've got birds clumping upstairs. Right, okay, you know what, I'm going to quickly set my timer. Oh boy, it's been one of those mornings, folks. It really has. Timer, okay. Right, I'm going to put it on, let's say 35 minutes, because I think, you know, with the extra preparation that's already done, that would probably be a good idea. Right, okay. And we're off. Okay. So So, right, we've got our cover cut out. Now I want to decorate the inside with some nice papers, and the papers I've thought was this, and it's just scrapbook papers. It's not my favourite backing, but I do like this side. So what I want to do is, hopefully, I'm just going to measure it out because I want it to fit nice and snug. Let's get my pencil back. I'm just going to leave a mark. I do want it nice and snug. So let's measure that side and then we'll measure this side. Is that the right way? Yeah, that's the right way. Okay. No, actually I want to do it like that because I want that on that edge. I want this kind of, you know, this kind of aged look on the edge of the journal. So we'll go about there. We might have to trim it down just slightly, but that's fine. Right, let's move this out of the way and get old Henry out. Come on, Henry. Now, I also think I'm going to put pockets in this one. Which I'll use this for as well. And then it's all, you know, matching, and then we can decide what we're going to do on the outside when I decide if this is the one that I want for the journal I'm making. I've got a couple of journals on the go actually, so right, put Henry away. I'm only going to have to get him out again in a minute, but that's fine. Now then, let's see, these are the bits we don't need. These are the bits we do. Right, now we'll have the vignette edge. That's the word, vignette. Oh, my mind today. You can see this is not going to be exactly straight, but I think that's part of the charm of the actual fabric that we're using for the journal. Now that's going to be, that one's, did I get the wrong one? I got the wrong one. It's okay. Before I have a heart attack. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so I'm just going to measure them for the top. And I've got some nice fabric. Oh dear me, that's not good. You've got to be really gentle if you've got to rub out on these papers, because sometimes you can rub a little bit of the print off. Right, let's get you there and there. And then they can be our pockets. And they'll be nice deep pockets as well. Come on, Henry, let's get you back out. Okay, that's our mark there. There must be a cat in the garden or something, because the birds have all of a sudden decided to go crazy. Either that or they've missed you all. Because people often comment about listening to the birds. And yeah, I love the sound as well. Right, okay. Now, if we get this right, see if it will work this way. Otherwise I'll just turn the book round. If we get this right, we can have a vignette edge all the way around. Maybe I'll just turn the book round. Simpler. Because I've already cut them all to measure. We'll get there. And then these can be the pockets, and then we've got that nice aged edge all the way around. Liking it. Right, let's get this spine sorted. Now, I've got this nice, it's vintage fabric from some old doilies and old linens, and it's it's beautiful, and it is old. It's got a few stains on it, but I don't mind that. So it doesn't fit that way. No, it doesn't fit that way. Right, so we need to cut it. Let's just make sure we've got it about there. Now the type of linen this is, I don't know if it's gonna... No, it's not. Okay, so we're going to just have to snip it. Okay. The good thing is that the way the weave is, it's pretty simple to follow in a straight line. Although I know it doesn't look like that on the camera. I am seeing a straight line. It's lovely stuff. I mean, I can understand why linens were so important, and there were a point of pride in the past. Now I want it to go over. I'm going to put this underneath, I think, because I want the pockets on. So yeah, it's going to go underneath. So I want quite a bit because I want it to have that extra strength for the spine. The fabric just gives it that extra layer of strength, and it covers up the cardboard and makes it, you know, just neater. Oh, it would be a fabric that I couldn't tear when I'm on a time challenge, wouldn't it? But this is the one I want. You've got to treat antique fabrics gently anyway, I suppose. There we go. Okay, there's our piece of linen, and I don't mind if it hangs over just a bit at the top and the bottom, that's fine. Right, fabric tack. I'm just going to check on the time. We're down to 30 minutes. It's not going too bad so far. Now this time I'm going to try and stay away from where the stitching area is, and I'm really hoping that the fabric tack's not going to show through much, simply because well, it just won't look very nice, and then I would have to cover it with something else. If it does, I can always put a little piece of lace on, and that will just cover up any glue marks. But I'm really hoping that we don't get any glue marks. Right, let's just leave you there a second. I'm just going to lay this down. There we go. I can always trim it off if it's too long, but that's fine. Now let's go a little bit of glue on here. I mean, it's a little bit more awkward to work with corrugated materials when it comes to gluing things down, but you know, it's worth the challenge because it's going to look lovely when it's done. There we go, it's holding it quite well. It doesn't appear to be showing any glue marks, which is great. Let's see, this one. And then we're going to have the card over the top of this as well, so that's going to be good. It's a bit intense on the old fabric tack, but hey ho, that's what it's for. It's meant to be used. There we go. Okay. That's good. I like that, and I love the fabric itself. Yes, it's got a couple of stains in it, but you know what, I don't mind. There's a little bit of a glue mark there, but other than that, it's okay. Fingers crossed when it's dried, it'll be fine. Right, and I can just trim this bottom bit off. I don't mind if it's a bit raggedy. That's just going to add to the overall shabby chic of the overall cover. There we go. Great. Right. Now, remember. There we go. Now we want this piece on first. So I'm just wondering if the tacky glue, because this is going to be a larger expanse, the tacky glue might handle this. Let's just fingers crossed and hope. This whole thing is an experiment. I've worked with corrugated cardboard on small projects, but I've never done a larger expanse like a cover. So this is all new to me too. Let's just hope that it works. because I want to make sure that we've got more than enough glue. And I'm going to pay particular notice to the edges. I don't mind if it like squeezes out. Right, let's give this a go. Let's push it up against there. I should have used the fabric tack for that bit, but the tacky glue is actually also a fabric glue. It needs to move up just a touch. I can always trim at the bottom because I haven't got this completely level. That's fine, it's not a problem, and it's right on that crease. There we go. I think it's okay. Yeah, once it's had time to dry, and that has stiffened that up really well. Maybe a little bit too well. I think, where's my bone folder? If I just there we are. That's fine, that's good. I'm probably going to have to put some fabric tack under that bit. Yeah. You know what, I think I'm going to use the fabric tack, especially on this bit. Let's just get a little bit of fabric tack out. The rest of it seems fine, it's just this little bit down here. Maybe the tacky glue's not as good as I thought. Well, you live and learn, that's the whole point. Come on out, glue. You along the edge. Right. Fabric tack everywhere now. Okay. It maybe just needs a minute or two to before I fold everything. Okay. I've left enough of an edge there so that it's got a good place to fold, but maybe because this is a little bit thicker, maybe that's what happened. So let's do the same here. Let's get some fabric tack on. Come on, fabric tack. I know it seems a little bit strange to have delaminated the cardboard and then be putting this on, but I wasn't sure exactly what I was going to do with it anyway. So, and it would have been a bit too thick with the extra stuff on. I didn't need to put any on that side, did I? I hope these glues don't react. Oh, crikey. Stop rushing, Eileen. Plenty of time. There we go. Get loads and loads on. Make some nice big blobs there. There we go. Right. Now, sticking myself to the fabric tack. Now I want to try and get these about level. And like I say, I'm probably going to have some trimming down to do, but that's fine. Yeah, they're about level. Okay, it's looking good. I think I'll do the same with this one. There we go. It does need trimming a bit at the bottom, so I'll do that now while the glue's setting. Again, it's a bit difficult because it is a stiff fabric or material, I should say, to work with, but that's okay because the finished effect's going to be lovely. Okay, that's great. And this will just fray. Let's just give it a bit of a fray. There we go. Perfect. Oh, I've got thread stuck to us now. I don't mind it hanging over at the top, that's fine. And there we go. That's the basic cover done. Let's put these pockets in. Okay, let's get some lids on some glue before I end up with a fabric tack volcano. Now I want my punch because I want to give these a nice, let's make sure we know which way we're putting them first. Is that right? That's right. Okay, I want them to have a nice little divoted top. Is that about right? That's about right. And the same with this one. I'm going to put a little bit of ink on these because with using the same paper it just needs a little bit of a definition. So let me find my ink. Got it. Okay. Here we go. Right. And I probably will ink around the rest of it. I think it kind of, because of the type of shabby kind of feel to it, it's going to need it, you know. I'm not going to bother wear them vignette edges, I'm just going to take off the white edge. There we go. There we are. Perfecto. Okay, so let's get a little bit of glue on. And then we've got our pockets. And this also gives it a little bit extra stability, not that it needs it, but when you're making a journal, if you've got a cover that's just not as stable as you want it to be, and you want to give it a bit of extra stability without ending up with like loads more bulk, just put a couple of pockets in the insides of the covers and it gives it an extra layer of stability without it having all the bulk everywhere. It's just a little trick I've picked up. Because sometimes I think the different materials that we make covers out of, sometimes they're a little bit too flexible, you know, they're not as hard as you want them to be. Same goes if you've got an older journal, you know, that's maybe had a lot of use, but you still want to use it, you still want to keep it. I would suggest putting pockets in it because you're going to give it the stability back that that using it has took from it. And it's just going to give it that little bit of something, you know, a little bit of extra stability, because sometimes I think when we use journals a lot, they do tend to get a little bit, you know, softer and a little bit more pliable, and sometimes that's a good thing, sometimes not so good. I'm just going to trim this edge. Luckily it's pretty easy to trim. Obviously not in a straight line, as I've already demonstrated. I mean, I could just leave it, but it's bugging me already, and if it's bugging me now, it's going to bug me when I'm finished with it. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, so I'm going to leave that to dry because you can see it's trying to keep the pockets up. So we'll leave that to dry and we'll work on the outside. Now, I don't mind these, I'm not going to take them off. I'm just going to check. Oh, we've got 16 minutes left. So what I've thought about, we've got this left to make something in the journal. what I've thought about was some of this stuff, because I love this fibre paper, and I like the idea of popping it on the front just to soften the corrugated a bit and give it that little bit, the chicness to go with the shabby. So I kind of like the idea of using like a nice expanse, especially over this, you know, if I use it over the, now that might be a nice idea. We could use it over the spine, couldn't we? Now I don't want it to have sharp edges, so let's just start tearing it. The good thing about this stuff is it does tear beautifully. Not in a straight line, but it does tear beautifully. And you can pull the fibres out and give it that nice edge. I'm not bothered particularly about it having a straight edge. That's fine. It doesn't have to. The whole point of using this is because I don't want it to have straight edges. I want those fibres to pull out over the corrugated cardboard and make it look like, you know, it's been torn off. There we go. Now just get this edge off, and all these little bits will be good in collage, so even a little bit like that, put on a collage, it just looks so pretty. And then this will give some definition to the spine on the outside, and it'll you know, it'll just give it a nice little bit of decoration, because the front's going to be covered with the front decoration, isn't it? So we don't have to worry about that. There we are. Now I don't want to put a matte finish on the cardboard, so I think I'm just gonna, where's my pencil gone? Can't get, there we are. Right, I'm just going to slightly mark where the spine is. Can I see those marks? There and there. Okay, so that's where we want it over these pieces. Now what I think I'll do, the best way to do this I think will be, I've got some Mod Podge, and this one is an antique matte, but even the antique matte changes the colour of the cardboard. I don't want to do that because then I'll have to do the whole cover, and I don't want that kind of finish to it. So what I think I'll do, I'll just pop it on here. So let's get some paper. Now this has got a matte side and a shiny side, so I'm going to put the Mod Podge on the shiny side. This is just such a goobery thing. Right, I'm going to just throw that away. Gone. Okay. It's a lovely creamy colour, and it matches this perfectly, so it's going to, you know, it's all going to work perfect. And I'm going to paint it out to the sides because I don't want to lose that fibrous effect, and by painting it in the direction that the fibres are going, it's actually going to pick the fibres out rather than smush them all into a different direction. Hopefully. I'm saying that, I'm not saying hopefully. Yeah, you can see it's kicking the fibres out, that's good. I love working with this paper, it's just so nice. I mean, working with textured papers is just a joy anyway, on any project. But yeah, I love this stuff. I mean, it's so versatile. You can sew it, you can stick it, you can do all sorts with it. It makes lovely paper to put inside your actual signatures. It's just perfect. Right, let's see. The hard part is getting it up off here without ruining the fibres. Just need to get a start on it. Okay. Oh, don't tear. You don't normally tear, so why are you tearing this time? Aha. There we go. perfect. Okay, where's our marks? I've got them. Now I know what you're thinking. You're thinking when I fold it it's going to tear. Well, I'm not going to lay it exactly flat. I'm going to let it sit inside and do its thing. Don't know what that bang was. Sorry if you heard that on the camera. There we are. Let it just find its own place, and then there we go. That was the birds. They've got pit boots on. There we are. Now it's kind of half in and half out. This bit could probably use a little bit more Mod Podge. Let's just go a little bit under there. Problem with the Mod Podge is it just does dry really quick. But it's okay because I'm going to go over it anyway. I'm just giving it, there we are, perfect. Now I'm just going to go over the top just to protect the paper. And to let the fibres like sit where they want to sit. There we go, perfect. Oh no, I don't want you on there. Ugh, where's my thing? There we go. There we are. And hopefully that should all be nice and protected. Now this is going to take a bit to dry. Oh. There we go. Last little bits. Oh, that's so cute. That is so cute. Right. Put my Mod Podge back. There. That looks really nice. Now let's see if this is willing to bend. I think I'm going to have to trim a little bit off those pockets because you can see they're just lifting. Just a tiny scooch. Excuse me, I know I'm not exactly on camera, but I'm just going to take a scooch off down to where it won't bend. Okay, now let's go a little bit more glue on there. There we go, perfect. Now, there we go. Okay, and that's our cover done. Perfect. And it just sits across there. It's not too much, but once I've got my cover art on, because I think I'm going to cover the full front, then that'll be lovely. And I kind of like the way, see when you open it up, it stretches it out, and then when you close it, it's going to sit nicely. It's just going to, once all the glue's dry, that is. Once all the glue's dry. Okay, and then the inside, lovely. I'm well pleased with that. I think I might put, maybe I don't know, maybe it's another pocket or something, maybe it's a smaller one. I don't know, I'll have to think about that. But that's basically the cover done. Just going to leave that on. I'm going to probably leave the back undecorated because I like the corrugated cardboard to speak for itself. And then the front, I'm going to put a front plate on, but I'll decorate that at a different time. Obviously, I'm not going to sew around this one because you don't, my sewing machine just will not sew around this. But I think there's enough. I think I'll put enough glue on there that it's not going to come off. Yeah, it seems pretty solid. That's, yeah. Let's check that side. Yeah, perfect. It's solid. I like that. I really like that. The antique fabric just it works perfectly. And then if I do use this journal in there, it's going to sit lovely. There we go. Lovely. Now I just need to leave this to dry for a bit, and then maybe on another video this week, if I do decide which journal I want in there, we'll do the front art for it. But that's the first time I've completed the challenge with 5 minutes to spare. So I hope you've enjoyed that one. If you did, please drop a like. And it was a bit of a mismatch, a bit of a let's see what's going on. But yeah, I did enjoy it. It was really nice. I think maybe what I'll do once that's dry is I'll find a piece of lace. I'm just going to use this as an example, and I'll probably put it down the centre like that, and then you'll have like the fabric. Actually, that's quite nice. Let's see, size wise it's not too far off, is it? You know what, I'm going to use that. I was only using it for an example, but I'm going to use that. Let's just while we've got 5 minutes left, we might as well. And I did forget to put the timer on, so let's call it like evens. Obviously I can't glue this on now because this Mod Podge is still too wet, but that's going to be that'll be part of the spine, I think. I may put it on after I've sewn everything in, and then that'll hide the binding threads as well. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed that. It was fun making it, and I really did enjoy working with this this corrugated cardboard. It was really fun. That's the only thing that I'm bothered about. This pocket just does not want to sit flat, but I'll figure that out. Maybe we'll put a big, like a nice hefty tag in there and you won't even notice. But yeah, and it gives it a unique look and a unique feel. It's, like I said, it's very tactile. I really like that. So I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope you've had fun. Come back and watch me decorate the front and actually sew in the signatures, and then we can start decorating the signatures together as well, once I've decided which one I'm putting in. So I hope you've enjoyed that. Please do drop a like and leave us a comment. Tell us what you think. What do you think about working with corrugated cardboard? First of all, do you enjoy working with it? Is it something that you just would never use in junk journals? And you know, would you consider using it for a cover? And thank you very much, Rachel. Again, you've like given us some great inspiration and challenges, and I'm really loving this. So thanks a lot. Do watch Rachel's video and stay safe and happy crafting. Bye.